Lighty 100 Nashville's independent radio. That's Rascal Martinez, one called Waiting on You. Fox Grinning before that with In White. So now you've heard the songs. Time to go do the voting. Go to lighty100.com/Music City Mayhem and vote. One band is going to get to move on, and we'll hear today's second pairing coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. My name is Casey, and I got a guest in the studio right now. And normally, when people come by, I'll kind of make a smart alecky reference about how I feel underdressed. And today, I don't think I'm kidding, man. I got Robert Ellis here. How you doing, bud?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing well. I'm talking about the suit here. You get a lot of questions about the suit, don't you?
I do. I get like 2 questions about the suit, actually.
All right.
Can I step out in front of you and guess what they're going to be?
I'm gonna guess your guess.
Okay.
Is it hard to keep clean?
Yep.
Is that one of the questions?
How often do you have to do dry cleaning?
Okay.
That's
right
number
on.
one, yeah.
Okay.
And then the other question is, how many of those do you have?
I know back in February you had 1, and we're getting ready to get 2.
I still have 1.
You still have 1?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was an ambitious notion that I was
Okay.
going to find another white tuxedo with tails that fit me.
I guess when you break it down like that, I guess it is kind of difficult, right?
Yeah, this one's from the 1950s,
Yeah.
and I was at a thrift shop with some friends, and we just saw this thing. We're like, oh my gosh, that looks so great. And he actually bought it for himself, my friend Chris.
Okay.
And he gave it to me on my birthday, like a week later. We were on tour.
Oh.
And in Philly, he gave it to me. He's like, you know what? You wanted it really bad. You can have it. And
Oh, that's
then it
cool.
sat in my closet for like 5 years, and here we are.
Knowing what you know now, would you have selected the white suit to wear on stage? Would that have been?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it adds
It's a good look. I'm not making
Yeah.
fun. It's a cool look. It really is.
It adds an air of like panache
Okay.
to the whole thing, you know? And sometimes it makes, I don't know, some of the more dingy, rough venues that you play feel just a little more highbrow than they are.
So there's a practical need for it too, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like live action role playing in a
Okay.
way. Like I put this thing on, and even if I'm kind of down and I'm in a bad mood,
Right.
you know, maybe I'm a little tired, sleepy, you put on the tuxedo, and then you're just like, oh, suddenly I'm
It's like Robert Ellis is doing like Robert Ellis LARPing, essentially.
exactly, yeah,
Right.
yeah. The Texas Piano Man. The
There
whole
you
thing is about just kind of like, you know, being a little more of a show.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. I did. Did I read a quote? You said that something about when you walk out on stage in a white tux, it makes people really open to listen to what you're doing.
Yeah, they pay attention differently, I think.
Yeah.
And not just on stage, just in life. I figured out that if I wear this thing to the airport, you know, people are just like, who is that guy? And I mean, like, the cowboy hat and the whole sort of thing. Also, it's like, I don't know. I've gotten a lot of funny comparisons.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like a classy Colonel Sanders.
Okay. I like it. You're like General Sanders.
Yeah, exactly,
I
yeah.
like that. Very nice. Well, we've talked a lot about the suit. Let's you want to talk about the piano playing part? Maybe play a song for us? here?
Sure, yeah.
What do you want to do, man?
I'll do something from the new record. This is about being in a relationship. It'll make sense in a second. Tell me what you're mad about. Go ahead, honey, let it all out. Go on ahead and say something you cannot take back, or bottle it all up inside. Out in the open is no place to hide. Please just pull over, let me get out of the car. I ask you what's wrong, you say nothing, but you look like you're about to explode. That's no way to lie, I can see it in your eyes. Passive aggressive, passive aggressive. You're so passive aggressive. That's one way to communicate. I wish you would just give it to me straight. Before I lose my mind. You're so passive aggressive. You're so passive aggressive. You're passive aggressive. You're so passive aggressive. Oh, what else can I say? You're so, it's day after day after day, so passive aggressive. I'm gonna lose my mind. You're passive aggressive, you're passive aggressive, you're so, so passive aggressive.
That's Robert Ellis joining us live here on Lightning 100. Passive aggressive name of the song, I'm guessing?
That's, yep. The song is called Passive Aggressive.
You should really write that into the song, right? and that's on Texas Piano Man, right?
It is, yeah.
So, the record came out on Valentine's Day, right?
It did, February 14th.
Was that planned or just kind of?
Yes, it was planned, and it was actually, I don't know how many people are clued in on this stuff, but there's a whole sort of like, I don't know what you call it. The industry has a certain set of notions that things need to happen a certain way, and
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes, like, when you suggest, let's put it out on Valentine's Day, you get a resounding, but that's not the right day of the week. We put out records on Fridays. Records come out on Fridays. And I'm like, but it's Valentine's Day. Well, it's so much better.
And the idea, too, that really in the grand scheme of things, this whole Friday thing is still kind of new.
I think a lot of the stuff that we do it because we are just deadly afraid to make a mistake, because it's so hard to be in this business now that everyone's like, well, there's only a few rules, and if we break them, then it'll be our fault it didn't work.
No, the only a few rules thing really, I think, is kind of what tilted a lot of things back towards the artist, frankly.
Yeah,
it's not, and again, I tell people I've done everything but play in a band. I am much more comfortable on this side of things, but it really seems like that's kind of the case. There's so many more things like the artist can control and have more sway in now.
Yes, there are, but it also has made just the lack of profit in general has made like risk something that is more difficult. I think for everyone, including the artist, you sort of get in your heads to where you're like, well, even if I succeed, I can only really succeed like, who's the biggest friend of mine? What friend of mine has been like massively huge in my mind?
Right.
And it's still not near as big as it would have been in the 90s or something.
Right.
But it makes you sort of think like, well, I wanted to do this crazy thing where I, drive Uber during Bonnaroo or and it makes you take those sort of ideas though and kind of curtail them and be like, well, maybe I should just play the showcase that I'm supposed to and not do that crazy thing.
So then is it kind of a thing now of trying to turn risk into more calculated risk? Is that kind of maybe where we're at now then?
Maybe. I mean, with the Texas Piano Man thing, I'm just like, I don't know if it's the point in my life, but I'm ready to just like have as much fun as possible. Yeah. And the whole character is just all about just taking every risk.
Well, then let's kind of, because by the way, we got Robert Ellis here live with us on Lightning 100. Got a show tonight at the Basement East with Ian O'Neill. Where does the Texas Piano Man? Where does that come from for you?
Well, it just I wrote the whole record on piano, and started thinking about like, who is the character that's delivering this thing? And after getting a few of the songs together, I realized that it couldn't be Robert Ellis. Robert Ellis, in my opinion, has done sort of like sincere, somber, sort of, Americana music. And I just don't think this record is that. So I really wanted to create sort of a separation to be like, this is a different guy. And it is still me, but it's maybe different parts of my personality than I've ever focused on.
So then it is kind of a purposeful thing then, because one of the things I know when we were talking, this is like your 5th or 6th album, and in the past, I mean, you've done stuff that's more traditional bass, drum, and guitar. You've done some stuff that has a little more twang, for lack of a better way to put it. But this is kind of the first Texas Piano Man record, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it blew my mind that there was never a Texas Piano Man. You know, when I first thought of the whole thing, it was like, oh man, what a great opportunity. Why doesn't this exist yet? Yeah. It's combining all of my favorite things, like the classic Piano Man archetype with like all of the crazy, loud, wild stuff that it means to be from Texas,
I mean, is there a lot of crossover between those two?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think they're both sort of I don't know. We sort of like let them be a little crazier than we would other folks, you know, like we sort of give them a certain amount of license to where we're like, you know, this is a little edgy and a little unsafe, but my mom still likes it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. That's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. So hanging out with Robert Ellis, the album Texas Piano Man's available right now. Get it all your favorite music getting places, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Or come and see the show tonight and buy it directly from you at full price.
Oh, that's the best way
Which
to
I'm
do
a,
it.
and I'm a firm believer that people need to be doing that.
It's my favorite way, and I'll sign it, and I'll probably hang out and talk, you know.
There you go.
And we also have a bunch of other cool stuff. You know, we have like Texas Piano Man socks and lighters and posters and wine keys and
I love wine keys.
we have all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love the whole sock thing that's going on right now. There's so many. I think I've got sharks on mine today. Yeah. But I love that bands are doing like socks.
Man, Sock Club.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're the ones who made my socks, and they're so cool. They're like, the design is knit into the socks.
Oh, wow.
And they're beautiful. Like,
that's cool.
I wear cool socks as much as I can.
Right.
And I sort of have lucky ones that I put on for different show days. You know? And I have these socks I got in Australia that have music notes all over them.
Yeah.
And then on the bottom, they say the words music notes.
That's awesome.
Which I thought was like the weirdest.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
I like those.
Those are my lucky socks.
Oh, I like that, man. You want to go ahead and play another song for us?
Sure.
Right here? What are you gonna do for us, man?
I believe this is the song you guys have been playing. This is a love song.
Okay.
It's called When You're Away.
All right.
When you're away, little things overwhelm me. And when you're away, nobody can tell me that there's any reason to get out of the bed. I open my eyes and I see nothing. And when you're away, I just don't feel like singing. The words come just without any meaning. What did I do before you came along and showed me how life could be? When you're here, oh, I can finally catch my breath again. Well, I'm only happy when you're here. Nothing makes me feel the way I feel when you're near. So don't go away again. 'Cause when you're away, all I do is remember. When you're away, there are no waves on the water. Had I never met you, I might never have known just how good life could be. Just yesterday, I was happy as a goldfish. Now I'm drowning in an ocean of what ifs. I don't think I'll ever be the same. When you're here, oh, I can finally catch my breath again. Well, I'm only happy when you're here, and nothing makes me feel the way I feel when you're near. So don't go away again when you're here. Oh, I can finally catch my breath again. Well, I'm only happy when you're here.
All right, that's Robert Ellis live here on Lightning 100. And again, another one from the Texas Piano Man album. It's available now. Robert's got a show coming up this evening at the Basement. He's along with Ian O'Neill from Deer Tick. And you're actually, is it after tonight, you've got like 2 more dates on this tour, right? And then you're wrapping this one up.
We're wrapping this one up, and then we're starting another one in a week or so, a couple weeks.
I was going to say, you're pretty much going to go home and do some laundry and head right back out, aren't you?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's going to just be the way it is for a little bit.
Yeah.
I've been very fortunate over the last year. I had a baby.
Oh,
I
right
got
on.
A little 9-month-old dude, and so I've taken some real serious time
Yeah.
off.
First one?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool, man.
It's been lovely.
Yeah.
To not go on tour.
Yeah, man, and I've got a 4-year-old, and it's still hard for me to get up and just come into work some days.
Yeah,
you know?
it's so cool to hang out with him.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Just nonstop entertainment. We call it baby TV.
There you go.
You know, just
Yep.
like I could just sit and hang with that little dude all day.
And you realize how tough you are when you really stomp around on all those Legos all day.
Oh yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
feel like I'd be pretty good in a fight now because I can step on Legos barefooted.
I have a new skill set.
Yeah. That's awesome. Robert Ellis, man, thank you so much for being here. Next time you come through, we got to get you back in here, okay, bud?
Awesome. Thanks
all
for having me.
right, man. Safe travels to you, and we're going to be right back. We'll do some local stuff from Devin Gilfillian. That's going to happen next here on Lightning 100.